just printed off of the computer the schematic for the fuel pump plug in the back. And as we can see, pin number 6 is supposed to have fuel pump power. So let me unplug the harness and we'll check to see if we have power there. And just so you know, the plug is right underneath the back of the fuel tank here. And there's a little pin. You just push that pin in and you can pull it apart. I'm just going to put this down for a second so I can unplug it. Okay. Alright, so we unplug it now and we're going to check pin number 6. And pin number 6 is right in here on the harness. Let me just turn the key to the on position and we'll go from there. Okay, key is on, and pin number 6 should be right here. And as you can see, it does have power to pin number 6. So we know that it has power coming to the pump, but the pump is not running. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drain the fuel tank, and we're going to pull it out of the car. And the pump itself is most likely the cause. So let me get started and we'll get right back to it. Okay, now that we got the car up on the lift, we're going to disconnect everything on the tank and remove it from the car. What we're going to do is first we're going to disconnect obviously the fuel tank is drained out. I siphoned that out already. That's empty. We're going to disconnect the filler neck. We got to take out this bolt right here. We got to disconnect these hoses here. And here, in the back of the car here, unplug the electrical connector. Around on the other side right here, we're going to disconnect these hoses right here. And then we're going to go in the back underneath here. And we're going to disconnect this hose here. Then we're going to lift the jack up underneath the bottom of the tank itself. And then we're going to loosen up this bolt here and take the strap down, and loosen up this bolt and take that strap down. So let me get started on that and I'll show you how it goes. Alright, just want to mention this to you real quickly. Before you unbolt this, you won't be able to pull the filler neck out of the fuel tank itself. But once you unbolt this here and you unbolt everything else, we're going to lower the tank down just a little bit, and then we're going to slide the tank out of the filler neck right here. So I'll show you how it goes. Okay, now that we have everything disconnected, we disconnected the hoses from the filler. We unplugged the plug for the electrical connector. We took off these hoses up underneath here for the emissions. And the way you take these hoses off is this one here. You don't pry it off, you pull the clip towards you, and you'll see where it pulls and opens up. Pull it towards you, and the clip opens up and slides right off, and you pull the line right off. Alright, the last thing we're going to do now is we're going to go underneath the car to where the fuel filter is located, right up underneath here, and we're going to remove the filter. We're going to take off the safety clip right here, and we have a special tool that we need to put in here to take this off. Let me show you what they look like. This is what it looks like, and what it is it goes in here like this. Okay, we have a special tool to get in there, and you can either use this type of a clip to get in there to take it off, or in this case I'm going to use this one here because it's a little bit shallower. And what you do is, once you have your clip off underneath here, you put this over the top like this. You push it in this way here, pull this direction here, releases the spring, and you take this and pull it off. I'm going to put the camera down so I can do that. I need 2 hands. What I always do is, after I disconnect that line, I always stick a little cap over the top of it so I'm not dripping fuel all over the ground. All right, so now we're just going to take out the bolts underneath here on the fuel tank. This one, and the one up in the front, and then we're going to slowly lower the gas tank down out of the car. So let's do that, and then we'll get right back. Okay, once you have the tank out of the car, you want to unbolt the top of the tank. The float assembly comes right out. Unbolt this. Oh, let me just show you this too. This line was actually on there, and you take that line off the same way that we did the previous one with the tool. Remember, we put that tool in here like this, put it on like that, and pulled it off. All right, then we unbolt this, and then we're going to replace it with the whole new complete assembly. So let's put that in there. We'll bolt it back up, and then we're going to put it back in the car. So let's get started. One word of advice: I know everybody is pretty careful with gasoline, but you want to be extra careful. If you're doing this job indoors in the wintertime and you have your heat running, you want to make sure your heat turns off, because the worst thing that can happen is you have build up all these fumes. Your heat turns on, you'll get a spark and you'll get an explosion. So make sure you turn your heat off. I always have my compressor door closed so that there's no possibility of a spark from the compressor either. In this particular case, I actually shut the compressor off for that reason. So just be careful, because fumes they could be a killer. Okay, once you've got the top opened up, you'll look inside and you'll see the fuel pump assembly in here. What you basically do is just pull these clips towards you here, and the other clip on the other side over here, and this pump will pull right out of the tank. So let me do that, and I'll show you how to put the new one back in just a moment. Okay, once we got the old assembly out, we put on the side, and we're going to take the new assembly and we're going to install it right into the gas tank. And the way it goes in is exactly how you took it out. This goes in over here, and it fits right down only one way into those lock clips. So let me just put this camera down and I'll show you how it goes. Okay, we push it down until these tabs lock back into position where it first came out of. When you push it down, you'll feel it lock right in and it snaps in. Now we're just going to reattach the top lid, and we're going to put the bolts into it, and then I'll come right back and show you how it goes once I get those in there. Okay, once we have all the bolts tightened up on the top of the pump, we're going to reconnect our electrical connectors as we disconnected them. This one just pushes right in here, and you'll hear it snap. The wiring we're going to put back underneath where it was located before. It was underneath here. So we're going to put it right back in the same place. I'm going to tape that down. This comes around underneath here to this location here. And then we're going to reattach this hose, and you'll hear it snap. Right, snaps in, and then we put our lock clip back on it to hold it in place, like that. And then we're going to put the tank back into the car. So let me get to that point, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, now that we got the tank in, we're just going to go over and make sure everything is tight. The filler neck is in. The hoses are reconnected as they're supposed to be. The clip has been reattached onto the top right up here where it's supposed to be. The fuel line is connected. The clip is on right here as it's supposed to be, the safety clip. Underneath the bottom here, this hose is connected back on. You push it in until you hear it snap. That's for the emission control. And last but not least, these two are connected on over here. These were, these two hoses here have been reconnected and the clip locked back in place. The bolts are tight here, and here, and here. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to reconnect this. We're going to put it right back into this spot right here. And then we're going to lower it down and start it up. All right, now that we got the car on the ground, let's see how everything goes. If everything goes well, we should hear the fuel pump like buzzing. That's it. So as you can see, replacing a fuel pump is not that difficult. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.